Howdy, everybody. This is going to be about how rethinking stress benefits physical and mental health. The transition to college can be tough. Let's face it, every college student experiences stress. Taking ownership of your own academic career and future can be stressful. Today, we will look at a study by researchers Jameson, Nock, and Mendez. In 2012, this research team worked together to show you how a simple mindset shift about the symptoms that stress brings can transform your stress into greater success. Stress does not have to be something you fear, but rather something that can push you into greater success. Research study. The researchers explored the following question: could viewing stress as helpful rather than harmful change how our body and mind handle it? To test this hypothesis, they recruited 50 participants pre-screened for physiological baseline data. They were then divided into groups, and the study used a structured sequence to gather their data to support their question. Each group completed the Tier Social Stress Test, a math calculation test, and an emotional Stroop test. They looked at how well people could stay focused when completing challenging tasks. They also gathered cardiac output and TPR data throughout the tasks to compare with the baseline data taken prior to completing the activities. Experimental groups. There were three groups in the study. The first group was the reappraisal group. This group was given instructions and information on the benefits of stress symptoms. They were told to change the way they think about stress and that the stress was not harmful but helpful to the body. The next group was the ignore external cues group. They were told the best way to handle stress was to ignore the source, and this would help reduce their nervousness and anxiety. The final group was the no intervention group. They were given no specific information about stress because they wanted to gather information to show the reaction of natural stress to the situations presented. Study results. The study showed that changing the way you think about stress did not benefit your performance physically and mentally. Participants in the reappraisal group demonstrated significantly improved cardiovascular responses with lower TPR and higher CO output compared to the ignore group, no intervention group, when completing the TSS test and math calculation. Since the p-value were less than 0.05, we can conclude that the observed data is correct. As the study continued, there was also a positive correlation that the reappraisal group showed notably less attention bias toward negative information and interactions than the ignore group or the no interaction group. They reported more focus and made fewer mistakes on the tasks. These positive results from the study show that educating people about stress and how it can help your body will help enhance people's performance as they face stressful situations. The stress test: conquering interview anxiety. As a college student preparing for an interview, I find myself experiencing fear and anxiety. It is common for me to feel my heart racing, have excessive sweating, and often fumble on my own words. I need to remember that my body's responses are working for me and not adding to my fears. The reappraisal techniques that were presented in the study can be the education I need to know as I prepare for interviews. I will plan on using positive self-talk to remind myself that physical changes in my body have a purpose and can be used for my benefit. I will remind myself to keep the new reframed mindset throughout the entire interview and also maintain a more balanced perspective as I reduce my attention to negative aspects. Ace the interview, beating stress before it beats you. I want to ace the interview and beat my stress before it beats me. Positive self-talk will remind me that the stress will work for me and my success. As my heart rate increases, I will remind myself to take some deep breaths and pause to reassure myself that my body is getting the oxygen it needs for it to help me think clearly and to articulate answers clearly and consistently. If my sweat increases, I will also know this cooling process is keeping me cool under pressure. Learning to reshape my feelings about stress can lead to more confidence and success in future interviews, presentations, or even a sales pitch. With this mind shift, I will gain emotional regulation and skills to become a more confident man.